Good morning. How's everything out there? I hope it's warmer where you are than it is here. It's something like negative 20 Celsius, and I don't know, that translates something like just above 0 Fahrenheit. It was too cold to walk my children down to the bus. Now, of course, I always do the right thing as a mother, but not today. Today, I'll freeze my little ankles, so I'm not going, hey, I could have worn my boots. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, what I'm going to tell you about today, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Now, when you've been away for a month, having a lovely time with your best friend and all your relatives. Of course, it was a funeral, so I guess it wasn't that great. But anyway, it was wonderful to be away. And then you come home and you find what your teenagers have managed with while you've been gone. And you don't know where to start cleaning up. Now, I was just making a Nancy Today. Oh, by the way, hi, this is Nancy Today. Do you like my hat? I just love this hat. Isn't it wonderful? But I can't wear it in public. You know why? Because people, instead of people looking at me and smiling, you see, I used to be invisible, but now I wear hats and so I'm not invisible anymore. And people would always smile and nod, and I existed because I wore a hat. But when I wear this hat, I don't exist. Nobody even notices that I'm alive. They look right through me. I don't exist. It's like living in a big city. It's the weirdest thing. I was walking with my daughter one day and I said to her, look at this. Nobody's looking at me. It's because of my hat. She didn't know if that was true or not, so I said, let's just check. So I took my hat off, put it on her head, and nobody looked at her. Nobody acknowledged that she existed. So I can't wear this hat in public, and it's just one of my favorite hats because see how the flowers go all the way around it? They're beautiful big flowers. Anyway, it's one of my favorites, but I can never wear it because I don't want to be completely invisible again. Otherwise, I wouldn't really have a good experience out there. Okay, now what I was going to tell you about, gosh, I get so sidetracked. Now, I just ran out of batteries. My batteries are dead. Where do I put them? They really need to go in the recharger, but my house is such a mess, I don't know where to put them because they'll get swallowed up in the Great Mississippi. Let me show you my house, and I'm going to teach you how to take care of your house. I mean, when you're so overwhelmed you just don't want to do anything at all but go back to bed. Okay, let's look at this. For instance, my son slept here last night. Now, he has a perfectly good bed, but I don't know. So that's one spot, and then there's the Christmas tree behind the inverter, which makes me feel good. So you see the Christmas tree is not completely decorated. And then look, it appears he slept here another night. And then over here we have the books. Now these books, of course, have to be there because they came off of the bookcase, which is in this room, which is icy cold because why heat it when you're not going to be in it and it's negative 20 outside? See, I've been busy putting a new floor down in here. I have a wonderful son who is funding this little project. Anyway, so I had to take all those books out of the bookcase, because the bookcase was way over here and I had to move it in. So here's another mess, you see? This mess is what used to be in this nicely organized room, which is supposed to become the guest room. So, as you can see, you might wonder, where do you start? Well, let me show you what works for me. Now, things work for other people differently. Some people would never even let their house get to be a big mess like this. I don't know how they do that. They must not have ADHD like me. Me and Miss Frizzle have a lot in common. Okay, so over here, you see, if you were to remove this pillow, this blanket, and that blanket, all of a sudden you would have this big, clean spot. Okay, let's just see what happens when we do that. We move this, toss it over there, remove these, and they can go over here and live on that pile with those. Okay. Now, look at that. How does that make you feel? You now have a little bit of clean space. You see how that happened? Now, one of the best things to do is just to take those things you just heaped over here on the other heap, fold each one and just put them away. Or as I do, you see, I would just stand right there and then facing this direction, I would throw them up, and they would go right up over that little spot in the loft. That was before I hung the lamp there. I don't think it's going to work anymore. Anyway, that's how you get rid of blankets and things. You just throw them up into the loft, and they're gone. Now I have to carry them. Okay, and then there's this coffee table, you see? So what you could do with this coffee table, which you see is just a small mess, it's hardly even worth worrying about. So you can just look at one thing. You just start in one place and work out. So let's see, this is all junk mail. Well, not all. So I could pick up the junk mail and I could carry it out here to the garbage, put it in the garbage, which as you can see is heaped over. That's the burnables. Okay, and so we've just started there. Now, sometimes the best thing to do is just work outward. From there, you just, you could just pick up this little thing on the floor here and put that one little thing, where it goes, which is right there. Actually, it probably doesn't even go there, but it looks good, doesn't it? It gives it sort of a, little accent. These flowers would be better up there, don't you think? But they get too high. They're right up into the mug collection. Okay, we'll put them back there. Okay, so you get the idea. You just start in one spot and work outward. Now that spot could be anywhere. You see, you have the same situation in your kitchen. I don't suppose any of you live like me. I've heard from my children. We won't go there. Okay, so in the kitchen, you see, we have a mess. It's always like this. I shouldn't say that. This is on international whatever this is. Okay. So you see, you could start by doing the dishes, taking these dishes and putting them away into the empty cupboard. Oh my gosh, it's full. Look at that. My kids did the dishes when I was gone. Oh dear. See, and over here, you may have another mess. I put this jug outside. I went to the States and I got milk when I was there because it was so nice and cheap, and now this is hard as a rock because I stuck it outside because I was out of room in the fridge. Oh, but what you could do is you could take this box, which is cereal, and you could just put it away up here where it goes. Oops. Okay, we won't put it there. How about this other place where it could go? I have a little fridge. You know I have a little tiny fridge? There, we could just put it right up there, and then it looks like it's really organized. I have a little tiny fridge because it doesn't hold anything, and you don't have to clean it if there's nothing in it. Isn't that cool? Just need milk in it, that's all. Well, just from looking at this video, I'm sure that you know that I have a lot to do today. Now, I'm not going to try and tackle it all because you know what will happen if I tackle it all. I'll just end up sitting in my, sucked back in my lazy boy comforting chair, being on the internet, because that's always more important. So, now you know how to do it. You just start in one little corner and work out. Okay? And when you get sick of that corner and working out from that, or if it gets too big, go find another corner and work out. And before you know it, it's better. But another thing to remember is don't do too much. No. You don't take the whole chunk and say, yes, I'm going to clean the house today. Not unless you're a really organized person. Maybe your house isn't dirty in the first place. But what you need to do is you just say, I will spend the next 5 minutes cleaning, and then, or tidying, and you just clean a little bit out of a corner and make something like one couch look nice. And then you go and you do something else and you come back to it if you feel like coming back to it, and you do another little bit. But if you make yourself do the whole thing, you can say, oh my gosh, this is too much. I mean, look at my house. Who can clean this thing? I mean, this is a mess. Do you have ADHD too? It's a trip. Okay, well, this is Nancy today in those lovely, oops, I'm showing you my hair, and then those lovely flowers saying, you can do this at home. But actually, I wouldn't try this at home. It's probably easier to do this in somebody else's house that's already clean. Okay, that's it.